Welcome everyone to Midwest Madness High Stakes. I am your host Mitch Brown, and we've got 32 of the fastest monster trucks here tonight to try to become the champion. Nugget is undefeated on this track, but he has a lot of tough challengers here tonight. Can he hold on? Find out next. Pit party's wrapping up down here. Safari Snake's about to give the last of the rides for the day. And we're about ready for round one, so let's take a look at round one matchups here. It is time to go racing here at Midwest Madness High Stakes. On to round one. Kicking off round one, we got Rich Wagner and Wildhair. He was a finalist last month, but he's taking on Carson Wells and the son of a digger out of Wells Motorsports. Both drivers waiting on the green light. Looked like Carson got him off the line, does a front flip, and Carson will advance, taking out the fast qualifier here tonight. Coming up next here in round one, we got Aiden Johnson out of Johnson Motorsports in the Bro Camino. He's set to take on Steve Jones in the Carolina Crusher out of Team MTA. Now, if for whatever reason you're tuning into my channel before Monster Truck Attitude, I definitely recommend you get over there and check him out, because he is the GOAT and he's the reason all this is happening. But nonetheless, we're waiting on the green light here. See if he can win the race. Looked like Aiden got him off the line, and both drivers get caught up there on the bus stack. And Steve Jones making it barely just a little bit further. What a race. Coming up next, we got a battle of 1941 Willys trucks. First up, Justin Lamb and Blacksmith taking on Ashley Obie and the Little Miss Dangerous out of Wells Motorsports. Both Willys waiting on the green light. And it looks like Justin Lamb may have taken it, but we're going to go back to the replay. That was pretty close. Coming up next, we got James Valancourt and Equalizer out of K&J Motorsports. Set to take on Diane Craddock and the Wolf's Head. See which driver can take it to round two. Dead even down the stretch, and Diane turns it over there in the far lane. And James just avoids the mud pit there, but he'll take the win. Coming up next, we got Jalen Buford in the USA 1 out of Outlaw Motorsports. He's set to take on the Wild Man, Ryan Johnson and the West Virginia Mountaineer out of Johnson Motorsports. These guys have faced each other on other circuits before, but it's the first time here at Midwest Madness. See who can take it to round two. And Ryan Johnson turns it over. Up and over in no man's land, and Jalen Buford takes it through for the finish. Heading down to the track. Midwest Madness track crew's down here to flip the wild man back over. As you can see, he's definitely living up to the nickname here on Midwest Madness. He is out of the truck. He's doing all right, but he is out of competition for the rest of the night. And as you can see, there is a lot of damage to the West Virginia Mountaineer. They're going to have a lot of thrashing to do over there at Johnson Motorsports. The action's continuing here in round one. We got two newcomers. We got Mike Lanford in the brand new Avenger Fire taking on Joey Andrews out of K&J Motorsports in the Black Stallion. We're going to see who can take it to round two. Looked like Mike got him off the line and Joey Andrews rolls it over. Great run for Mike Lanford. He'll be in the next round. Tough luck for Joey Andrews there. Coming up next, we got Austin Wagner in the Earthshaker. He's a newcomer to the circuit. He's set to take on Joshua Wells in the built Ford Tough Blue Thunder out of Wells Motorsports. See which driver can take it to round two. Looked like Austin got him off the line, and Joshua Wells might have come back. He rolled it over there in the end. We're going to get down to a replay on that one. Coming up next, we got Bradley Graham out of Outlaw Motorsports, Mr. Outlaw, and the Clydesdale Chevrolet. He's set to take on Matt Cheever and Gravedigger the Legend. Both drivers waiting on the green light. Looked like Matt might have got him off the line, but that's going to be the closest race of the night right there. We're going to get back to a photo finish on that one. Up next, we got Pop Steve Jones out of Team MTA and the Wildfoot Ford. He's set to take on Violet Craddock and the Monster Mutt Ice, making her second appearance on the circuit. See which driver can take it to round two. Looked like Pop's got her off the line and Violet gets into the wall. Pop Steve Jones moving on to round two. Wow, they were both going for it there. Up next in round one, we got Emily Graham in the Barefoot Dodge out of Outlaw Motorsports, Mrs. Outlaw, set to take on Peanut and the Maximum Destruction, Max D. Both drivers waiting on the green light. Looks like Peanut got her off the line and stands it on the back tailgate. Wow, Emily Graham into the mud pit. She will be your winner. Wow, Peanut was hanging right there with. Coming up next, we got two newcomers to the circuit. First up, Kai Caswell and the Batman. He's set to take on Kieran Adams out of K&J Motorsports and the King Crunch. Let's see which driver can move on to round two. Waiting on the green light. Looked like Kieran got him off the line, but Kai came back in the end. I think Kai got it. We'll go down to the replay. He gets stuck there in the mud pit. Kieran was hanging right there with him all the way. Coming up next, we got Jason Craddock and El Toro Loco set to take on Ethan Wagner and the Lumberjack. Both drivers making their third appearance out here. Let's see who can take it to round 2. Even off the line, and wow, what a close race, but Jason Craddock takes it through for the win. Ethan was hanging right there with him. Coming up next, we got Tim Cantwell, the Cowboy from Hell, and the Bounty Hunter out of Wild West Racing, set to take on Chantel Bailey and the Scooby-Doo out of Johnson Motorsports. See which driver can take it to round 2. Even off the line, and Chantel rolls it over there in the far lane. I think Tim Cantwell got the win, but it was close. Going back to the replay. Coming up next, we got Roland Cantwell and the brand new Iron Outlaw out of Wild West Racing, set to take on Brian Prazik and his brand new ride, the Monster Patrol Chevrolet out of Outlaw Motorsports. Let's see which driver can take it to round 2. And Roland rolls it over right there before the finish line, so Brian will take the win. Wow, they were dead even there before the finish line. But Brian Prazik is moving on. Rounding out the first round, we got Nugget and the Gravedigger, 2-time defending champion, here to defend the flag again for the third event. But he's set to take on the sassy Southern Belle, Krista Roberts out of Wild West Racing, and the Scarlet Bandit. Let's see if Krista can spark the upset or if Nugget can keep the streak alive. Waiting on the green light. And looks like Nugget wins the race, but Krista was hanging right there with him. 9-0 on the track. Kicking off the second round, we got Steve Jones in the Carolina Crusher out of Team MTA. He's set to take on Carson Wells and the Son of a Digger out of Wells Motorsports. Both drivers waiting on the green light. Wow, that was a good race right there. Both drivers are hanging door handle to door handle, but I think Steve Jones got the win. We're going down to the replay to make sure. Coming up next, we got Justin Lamb and Blacksmith taking on James Valencourt out of K&J Motorsports and the Equalizer. Waiting on the green light. And Justin Lamb barely edged him out there. At least I think so. We're going back to the replay. Coming up next, we got Mike Lanford in the Avenger Fire. He looked great last round. But he's set to take on Jalen Buford in the USA 1 out of Outlaw Motorsports. See which driver can take it into round 3, waiting on the green light. And Jalen Buford gave him a run for his money, but Mike Lanford gets the win. Couldn't get it shut down before the mud pit there, but he'll be all right. Mike's moving on. Coming up next, we got Joshua Wells in the Build Ford Tough Blue Thunder out of Wells Motorsports. He's set to take on Mr. Outlaw, Bradley Graham out of Outlaw Motorsports in the Clydesdale Chevrolet. He is the owner of Outlaw Motorsports, as you see right there. If you have not checked him out over there on Diecast Monster Truck Outlaws on YouTube and Facebook, I definitely recommend you check him out. But here we go on this race in round 2. Let's see if he can get the win. Waiting on the green light. And he does indeed get the win. Bradley Graham is moving on to the next round. Coming up next, we got a classic 1993 Penda matchup. First up, you got Mrs. Outlaw out of Outlaw Motorsports. That's Emily Graham in the Dodge Barefoot. She is set to take on Pop Steve Jones out of Team MTA in the Wildfoot Ford. See who's moving on to round 3. And that is going to be a photo finish right there. I think Emily Graham got him by a half a tire, but we'll see. Pops was hanging right there with her. Coming up next, we got Jason Craddock and El Toro Loco, set to take on Kai Caswell and Batman. See who can take it into the next round. And Jason rolls it over, so does Kai. Wow, Kai makes it a little bit further. He will be the winner. But both trucks roll it over before the finish line. Coming up next, we got Cole Harwood and the Snakebite, taking on Tim Cantwell, the Cowboy from Hell, and the Bounty Hunter out of Wild West Racing. Let's see who takes it to the next round. Tim's got to lead off the line, but loses it there in no man's land. Cole takes it across the line for the win. Wow, tough break for the Bounty Hunter here tonight. Closing out round 2, we got two-time defending champion here on Midwest Madness, 9-0 on the track. That's Nugget in the Gravedigger. He's set to take on Brian Prazik out of Outlaw Motorsports and the Monster Patrol. Gonna see if Brian can spark the upset or if Nugget's gonna keep it going. Waiting on the green light. And wow! Looked like Nugget barely edged him out there at the end, but we will definitely check on the replay. Nugget may be moving on. Kicking off round 3, we got Justin Lamb and Blacksmith, taking on Steve Jones out of Team MTA in the Carolina Crusher. See who can take it to the semifinals. And Steve jumps him off the line and takes the win. Coming up next, we got Mr. Outlaw at Outlaw Motorsports, Bradley Graham in the Clydesdale Chevrolet, set to take on Mike Lanford in the Avenger Fire. Both guys have looked absolutely awesome all night long, but only one can advance to the semis. Even off the line, but Mike Lanford definitely took it through for the win. Bradley was hanging there with him, but Mike's moving on. Coming up next, we got Mrs. Outlaw at Outlaw Motorsports, Emily Graham and the Dodge Barefoot. Taking on Kai Caswell and Batman. Kai flipped over last round, but his team got that truck back. It didn't suffer too much damage. See if he can take the win and advance to the semis. And Emily Graham rolls it over there in no man's land. Kai Caswell moving on to the semifinals. That Batman's looking good tonight. Coming up next in round 3, we got two-time defending champion Nugget and the Gravedigger looking to stay undefeated on the track, but he is taking on Cole Harwood and the Snakebite. These guys met back at Thrills and Spills last month. Gonna see if Cole can get a little revenge or if Nugget can advance to the semifinals. And easy work for Nugget. Cole turns it over there on the bus stack. Nugget is in the semifinals. 11-0 on the track. Unbelievable. Kicking off the semifinals, we got Steve Jones out of Team MTA and the Carolina Crusher. Set to take on Mike Lanford and the Avenger Fire. See which driver can take it all the way to the finals. Even off the line, and wow, Mike turns it over there at the finish line. That is going to be a photo finish. I'm not sure who got it. We're going back to the replay. Rounding out the semifinals, we got two-time defending champion Nugget and the Gravedigger looking to stay undefeated on the track and make it 3 finals in a row. But he's set to take on newcomer Kai Caswell and Batman, who's been on fire all night long. Let's see who moves on to face Steve Jones in the finals. And wow, Nugget is making it 3 straight finals here on Midwest Madness. Kai was hanging right there with him, but he didn't have enough to dethrone the champion. Nugget's moving on. It's finals time here at Midwest Madness High Stakes. We started with 32 trucks and we're down to 2. First up, Steve Jones and the Carolina Crusher out of Team MTA. Set to take on undefeated, 2-time Midwest Madness champion, Nugget and the Gravedigger, looking to make it 13-0 on the track. Can Steve beat him or can Nugget keep it going? Waiting on the green light. And Nugget does it again! Nugget is undefeated on the track, and he is your high-stakes champion here at Midwest Madness. Can anybody beat Nugget? Wow. Steve was hanging right there with him. What a good race. Thank you, everyone, for coming out and watching Midwest Madness High Stakes. Congrats to Nugget on back-to-back-to-back championships here. And we'll see you next time for Midwest Madness Monster Bash, July 2nd. Please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for watching.